So, I've always been fascinated by traditional fighting games. Watching people who are truly good at fighting games is such an insane sight to behold. It also helps that I watched a lot of Super Best Friends in my day. I also love the FGC for how unique they are.
Get up! Get up! Get up! Get up! Get up! Get up! Get up!
That guy getting fucked aside, the amount of focus, concentration, and practice to even get somewhat decent at any traditional fighting game is truly amazing. And a tad overwhelming. The issue is that I can never dedicate enough of my focus or free time to truly get decent at these games, and that's a problem. If you don't remember all 1,876 ways to do a simple move, then you're done, you're screwed. But that's where the next section of fighting games come in. Now, I'm not here to debate if games like Smash are true fighting games because it's a stupid argument, but much simpler fighting games like Smash and Brawlhalla have always been a much more casual time sink for me, as they are extremely easy to pick up and play, while still having that level of mastery needed for top level play. These types of fighting games is what I personally prefer to play. And that's where Lethal League comes in. Lethal League is a competitive fighting game where instead of battling in hand-to-hand combat to the death, you're instead battling through an intense match of ping pong. You can choose from 6 different characters who all have different specials, angles they can hit the ball, and moves. The object of the game is to have the other players mess up and get hit by the ball. The ball can go up to some insane speeds, and at high level play, it can be a sight to behold. In the normal mode, the player can get hit up to 8 times before they will lose. Other modes include colored teams, 4-player free-for-all, 3-player free-for-all, or 1v1. Pretty much like Smash and other Smash-like games. It may not seem like it now, but this game has a ton of depth that you may not see at first glance. So let's go into some of the game mechanics. One of the most important things to understand when you're first starting the game is the boombox. The boombox has numbers on it to tell you how fast exactly the ball is going to be going. It also tells you how long the hit pause is going to last for. When you get past a certain speed threshold on the boombox, the ball starts to go faster and faster and the hit pause gets longer and longer. The colors also start to get inverted. New players of the game will start to panic when this happens, solely on the fact that they know that this means that the ball is going to do some crazy fast shit that they won't have time to react to. But if you know how the boombox works from earlier, you know that you can properly time your hits by using the 2 meters on the side. The thing is though, knowing this fact is just as much a blessing as it is a curse. If the other player has even a single bar on their special meter, they can perform a parry. If during hit pause the player hits B, a blue circle will flash around the ball. When the other player hits the ball while this happens, the character will be stunned for a short period of time, meaning that most of the time this results in their death. This also has a bit of risk to the person parrying, because if they get faked out by the other player and it is not a successful parry, then they will lose all of their meter. But if it is a successful parry, then they are rewarded with a full special meter. This adds a bit of risk versus reward to the scenario. This leads me to specials. Specials are different on each character and can allow for some crazy ways to throw your opponent off guard. As I said earlier, each character has their own unique special, which I will go into more detail later. You have to wait until your special meter is full until you can use your special. Another way to throw your opponent off guard is through bunts. What a bunt does is it slows the ball down and it stops its momentum for a second. You can bunt the ball up, down, or in an arc motion. When you successfully bunt, it gives you 2 bars of meter and can cause for some crazy mix-ups to how your opponent thinks you're going to play. And we're still not done with basic mechanics. You have neutral swings, smash attacks, which are self-explanatory, and you have clashing. Clashing is where both players strike each other at the same time. This causes both players to be knocked back and can cause people to lose their footing on how to approach the ball, resulting in death. Hot damn, that's a lot of mechanics for this simple looking game. But even with all that, a lot of this comes naturally through playing, and it's really not that complicated once you get into it. Now with all that out of the way, let's talk about the characters and their unique specials and abilities. There are 6 playable characters in the game, not counting the secret playable character, Doombox. These characters are Raptor, Switch, Candyman, Sonata, Latch, and Dice. Each one of these characters have their own different angles, mechanics, and specials that make them all unique and fun to play. First off is Raptor. Raptor has crazy mobility with his wall jump and wall slide, which can lead to some crazy ass combos. What his special does is it allows him to change the angle the ball is going to be hit in, while also artificially extending the hit lag for a short amount of time. With all this said and done though, I feel like Raptor has the least interesting design out of all the characters. It's not bad, it's just very bland compared to some of the others. But moving on to a character with a great design, we have Switch. Which, by the way, just putting this out there, this game needs to be on the goddamn Switch, Nintendo. Reptile Games, whoever you need to call to get this shit on Nintendo Switch, I mean, come on, dude. Like, this needs to be on the Switch. But anyways, I digress. Switch is a strange case, where he can ride on the walls until the player lets go, or he hits the opposite corner of the stage. This can result in some crazy-ass angles and mix-ups in the game. Now, Switch's special is an interesting case, to say the least. It's very complex. What he does is he kick flips the ball pretty much, and it acts sort of like an angle reverser and speed multiplier, but the main point is it covers a large hitbox, allowing for easy and fast returns. Next, we're moving on to Candyman, and let's just say he's my boy. He's the best character in the game, and if you think otherwise, you're fucking wrong. Now, what Candyman's main gimmick is that he can jump very high, which allows for you to get the ball stuck in high places that other players can't quickly hit. They could reach it, but a lot of characters can't quickly get to it. Getting the ball stuck in these high places can allow you to build the speed of the ball to your heart's content, and get it to some crazy ass high speeds. Candyman's special is called Candy Ball, a move that allows the ball to pass through ceilings and walls. It also changes the ball to Candyman's face, and it looks really funny and really fucking stupid. But at first glance, this may not seem like that great of a special, but once you learn the angles of Candyman, you realize you can create a crazy ass combo with the ball, causing it to pass through walls multiple times, throwing your opponent way off. Also, Candyman has, hands down, my favorite design in this entire game. It's so weird and stupid and funny, it's just great. Moving on from Candyman, we have Sonata. Sonata has the ability of double jump, which can allow her to get to some interesting heights that allow for different angles of the ball. Her special is also interesting, where it allows the ball to be hit multiple times in the air with different directional inputs. So the first hit can have it going one direction, but she can then do a second hit, which can change the direction of the ball, throwing off her opponent. Also, going to her design, I really love the color pattern. That's really just about it. Also, the giant fucking hammer is really cool. Moving on, we got Latch, the alligator of the group. Latch has the ability to climb up walls and stay put while holding the jump button. What makes this different from Switch is the fact that you can swing while still on the wall. This can allow for some new interesting strategies and look pretty fucking funny in my opinion. Also, you don't have to be constantly moving while on the wall. Latch's special also allows him to eat the ball during his hit pause. As soon as the original ball's hit pause is up, Latch spits it out into any direction you are holding the stick in, catching your opponent off guard. It also comes out really fucking fast, so you have to be ready for it. And again, with his design, he's just an alligator, there's not really much to it. Lastly, we have Dice, wielding a ping pong paddle as his weapon of choice. Dice's ability allows him to crouch jump, which can make the ball much easier to catch while it is in midair and makes air mobility a godsend with him. Dice's special also allows you to fire the ball off in an arc, allowing you to curve the ball's trajectory. After it comes in contact with any of the walls, the ball goes straight after the opponent. This can allow for some interesting combos from his special and some new angles to throw off the opponent. And like I said, Dice technically isn't the last character. We have Doombox, but he's a secret character and he doesn't really matter. Now moving on from the characters, let's talk about the music. The music in this game is phenomenal, Ordinary Days being one of the standouts in my personal opinion. It gives off a sort of jet set radio vibe, which makes the game have more of a skater and punk teenager vibe. It makes the aesthetic of the game shine that much more. Sadly, the same can't be said for the character models. I don't think they're bad in design, but in contrast to the backgrounds, they look just much more low quality than the rest of the game, and it's a shame. And continuing with the bad, the game's content is severely lacking in game modes. This is where a lot of my personal major complaints come in with the game. The campaign mode is just a basic Smash Adventure mode clone, but without any of the charm or enjoyment out of it. The fight against Doombox is fun, but that's about it. And don't get me started on the fucking online. Sadly, this game is mostly dead in the online scheme of things. You will find the occasional player here and there, but for the most part, you're gonna have to wait a long ass time to find a match with any character. And there's no ranked mode or anything. Other than playing with friends or bots, that's all you're gonna really get out of this game. And that right there is why I decided to make this video. Lethal League is one of my favorite fighting games of all time. It's so simple yet deep at the same time, and I've had so much fun playing against my friends in it. But with the lack of an online player base and enjoyable extra content, it makes it hard for me to truly recommend this game to anyone. But what I can recommend for all of you to get excited for is Lethal League Blaze. Yes, here's the real reason I wanted to make this video. The original Lethal League is sadly a pretty fucking dead game at this point, but this game looks so goddamn good. It sincerely looks like an improvement in every single way. There are new mechanics like being able to throw the ball, being able to carry the ball with you, the camera changes on the bunt, the promise of new characters, updated 3D models and backgrounds, the fucking shark submarine! A new mode where you can get hit more than once, being able to counter parries now, and Dudebox having a big old knob dick. This game just looks incredible and is everything I wanted in a sequel to Lethal League. The problem is, those views are not really what I want to see for this game. I want this game to be the next biggest thing, and sure, the views aren't bad, but remember, the first Lethal League was very popular before becoming the dead game it is now. I want this game to have staying power. Now, obviously, Team Reptile needs to add things like a rank mode and new fun modes, but it's also about general marketing, and this game needs much more coverage than it's been getting. Seriously, I've seen like no one talking about this on YouTube. That's why I wanted to make this video, to promote this game so that everyone can enjoy the series at its best. I love Lethal League, and I don't want this game to fall into obscurity. I wish Team Reptile the best, and I hope this game can be as good and as large with all the potential this series has. Thank you for watching, and please spread the word of Lethal League Blaze.